recording now.
Video.
I'm trying to call Deontay
Default
one more
mic
time.
test input. And there. Still on control.
Let me see.
John Walker.
Boy.
Let me try to hold on. Let me try to call Deontay. I don't know if he.
When I seen his face, I was like, no, they didn't choose this goofy looking ass dude as the guy. The only thing I remember him from is what's the movie with Seth? What's fat dude name? Seth Rogen. Mm-hmm. Seth Rogen and 21 Jump Street. Boom.
Oh, there you go. I don't know if you joined the chat. Oh, I think so. Oh, there we go. All right, for sure.
Frank over here looking like a Tekken player.
Like an old version. Solo, you still watching it? I think he's still watching that the last episode.
Boy, I wanted to smack that big eared ass dude so bad. Oh my god.
Since we here, should we knock Justice League out the way first or just get Falcon and the Soldier out the way first? What should we start with first? Because it's a lot to talk about.
I just watched Falcon Winter Soldier, so we can talk about that if y'all want.
Yeah, let's
I just got finished watching it.
So yeah, bro. So I ain't gonna lie, it's crazy to look back with them now because if you remember, they was part of the Snap too. You know what I'm saying? They was one of the first ones they showed that was Dustin. So it's crazy that they all it's crazy they all getting their own show. You know, seeing like they getting out their backstory and all like that.
I got it.
It's on the floor.
I'll be back.
All right, for sure. Yeah, bro. Actually, it's crazy because I actually like John Walker. Like, I like how they showing like his basically how he like his way how he earned the shield and all like that. But we all know he ain't Steve Rogers though. That's the thing. So it's like I feel like people just
thing is though, I don't even think he deserved the shield still.
But it's crazy because when they say all the stuff like, what have you done to you earn that shield? He actually done more than actually what Steve Rogers did in terms of the like when he asked him like, for instance, when he was like, what did you do? Like he said, how many times you jump on a grenade? And he said, I did it like 4 times compared to Captain America did it. You know what I'm saying? It's like in terms of his resume, what he do? It's damn near better than Steve Rogers. But
I don't like him. Right. If I ever see him, I slap him in the face.
Now look at it this way though. Look at it this way. He said, "Oh yeah, I jumped on the grenade multiple times, but I mean, you know, the helmet has that reinforcement up on it. But how many times did Rogers jump onto the grenade with no protection? That's the difference."
Right? Yeah, he sacrificed himself for real.
Rogers jumped on the grenade knowing he was gonna die.
True that. Yeah, he was willing to sacrifice himself. Right? That was.
Bro jumped on the grenade because he had a reinforced helmet. You ain't.
And that was basic training.
Yeah, that is how.
I'm really upset that The reason why I'm upset, and this is how I really feel, Winter Soldier should be doing way better than he is. I need him to go back to his Hydra skills because he, as a Hydra agent, was ridiculously skilled. Now he getting beat up by girls who just got their powers. And then he had to have Captain America, the new Captain America, and his black lackey, his black, what you call it, honey? His sidekick save him. I was so upset. I'm like, bruh, how y'all have this clown save y'all? Oh Lord.
I know that had me hot though. That did have me hot.
That had me hot. And then you see the new Captain America got skills with the shield. I'm like, bro.
I mean, that is U.S. agent. Like he do got skills with the shield too. You can't take that away from him. But he not Steve Rogers. That's the thing. Like.
But here's the thing, though: is he somewhat enhanced as well?
Now that's what I wonder too. Because if you look at it, you see that he just it seemed like he just like a very experienced soldier. It seemed like, but you never know because it seemed like they teasing that a lot with it. It could be a lot of super soldiers that's out there besides Steve Rogers and Bucky, you know. So I mean, you'll never know.
No, there are. I think. Wait, Solomon on this call?
He was just here. I don't know what happened. Try to get him back up in here.
It says he's a member, but it's not green, so I figure he's not on. I say that because I don't want to spoil nothing. But I don't know if you guys ever read the Captain America comics. Who was the author of that? I forget the author who was writing them, but Captain America had gotten his ass handed to him on this rooftop by this Vietnam soldier. And the Vietnam soldier was a super soldier. So they had a super soldier for every war that had happened since then. Korean War, Vietnam War, you know, and all that. And he realized there were more people out there. And he got his ass handed to him with no shield. So that was a really good comment. I think they were trying to put more stuff like that into it because they're bringing up all these super soldiers from, 70 years ago, 50 years ago, current.
I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. Janae thinks that this new Captain America is actually a bad guy.
Boom.
I mean, eventually he
She
gonna be.
thinks that he's a bad guy, and that the I can't remember their name, but like the people who they're portraying is the bad guy, they may actually be the good guys.
I think that if he is a bad guy, he is extremely adept because he is showing himself to be super unsure of himself, super, showing a lot of humility, a lot of these things where bad guys don't show. So he might be, but if he is a bad guy, the other bad guys was trying to kill him, and they almost killed him for real because they was kicking him off the truck and
he
everything.
had to save his partner. Yeah, he had to throw the shoe to save his partner. Yeah, if that was the case, he probably would have lost his teammate right there.
It may not necessarily be that he's like a bad guy in a sense. It's more like he's probably got something else going on to where he's got his own agenda that he's trying to do.
Yeah.
Like he's a bad guy, but not a bad guy with that crew.
Yeah, and kind of like he very well, like I'm kind of thinking like he may be some sort of Hydra dude, but he hasn't like he probably changed his name or they haven't fully gotten to him yet, and his name probably wasn't in the record somewhere. Like he could be some sort of Hydra dude because at the same time, do we know if like where he was during the blip?
Nah, they didn't really explain. No. They didn't really break that down.
Like we have no idea.
Nuh-uh.
We don't know was he blipped out or not.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm like, we don't really know what could possibly be going on with this dude. But the fact that there's other super soldiers out there though, because these guys just took the serum. But this black dude Isaiah, if you look at him, I'm like, dang, he should at least like anywhere between like 80 and 100 easily. So when did he get this serum? And it basically made him age very, very slowly.
Yeah, that's why.
So we don't know what's going on here.
He said it was like 51 when last time he ran into Bucky. So was at that time was Cap still? I'm trying to think, where was Cap at during this time? Because was he still? He wasn't frozen.
Cap was frozen.
I was about to say he was. Damn.
He was frozen because Bucky. He ran into Bucky in 51.
Oh right, because so he was still mind controlled by Hydra and all that, huh? Right. Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
We also have to remember, Maxine actually made a good point. She was like, why is this black dude hella old, even though he's a super soldier? And I was explaining that like super soldiers don't age differently; they just are super for that amount of time. And she had rebuttal like, well, why wasn't Cap old? I'm like, well, Cap was on ice for 70 years, and Bucky was on ice for most of those years, besides when they brought him out of ice to put him in missions and stuff.
Yeah.
So I figure that they actually do age according to regular humans. They just in that time have super abilities.
Yeah. That's the thing though, but he doesn't look like he's around 100 years old though. He's still pretty spry. Isaiah.
Isaiah wouldn't be 100. He'll be like 80.
Because he said it was 51 last time he ran into him. Yeah. Yes. So it could be right with him because he said it's been like 50 years later. So
if it's 50 years later, you go to war in your 20s. No one goes to war when they're 30 something. Go to war in your 20s, right? He probably like 70, 80. He looked like he 80. And he still got the ability, but he old,
That's made me believe.
If anything, I'd probably just say he probably looks like that because he was locked up for like 30 years. So that, that prison food make you a certain way too.
But that means he can't be the only one. If they just found out about Isaiah, then there should be more super soldiers out there that, that even Bucky probably don't even know about. Like it's like everything is coming back to his mind now. Everything is like he coming to grips with everything with his memory and all like that. Because at first he didn't remember nothing. He had to go through Wakanda just to get like some of that memory back, just to get himself back into good focus. You know what I'm saying? So I really don't know how they're gonna do it now. It's like they hit us with unexpected.
It's like a storage of these super soldier people on ice, like how Zemo had them on ice at first in the
He didn't have them on ice. He just found
had them in the
one
little,
of the facilities
had them in the
that Hydra
lab
was
and all like
using.
that. Yeah,
Oh, okay. So
Think about it.
So yeah, that's
What?
what?
I was like, if you think about it, the facility he found was by Hydra. The one that Isaiah was in, that was the U.S.
No, Hydra too. Remember, he said, "Yo, people."
I think he was just
So,
speaking. I think he was
Hydra
just
did
saying
that
in
too?
general because he knew Bucky was with Hydra. Was that? Isn't that why he said that?
But that's why he's. But I'm saying, why would he mention what your people did to me if you know what I'm saying? He's like he was like.
Well, look at it this way. He's probably saying that because at the time the U.S. had people from Hydra in there, so he's probably looking at it as Hydra within the U.S. was experimenting upon me.
Yeah, that's what I was looking
at.
That's
what I mean, though. Like the powers of the U.S. that were good probably didn't know about their existence, because if they did, bro, they would have used them as a new Captain America. Probably not the black dude because of the racial issues, but they would have used any of them as Captain America because they needed Captain America, just like they do now. I think that obviously he has a reason to not like Bucky. I wouldn't like him either, but I think that they're going to probably connect with him again, and he's going to probably open up just like some of the stuff that happened. Hopefully,
that was shady though. That they here's the thing: they had me in jail for 30 years. It's hard for me to fathom that they actually had him in jail, like in an actual jail, even though he was a war hero for 30 years. So I'm like, okay, what happened to where what did they say? What did they do to where they're like, okay, you're going to be locked up until we done with you?
I don't know,
or is it more so that he was in jail, but I don't know. Like, it seems that there's something going on with that, because it's like they sent him to go and fight Bucky as a Winter Soldier. So he's considered a war hero, but yet he's in jail. So like, what happened in this transition? Or is he like a mental jail? Is it like a jail where it's like they have me in this facility, just running different types of stuff, and like I don't know.
I think it's racial. I think it's racial, but also political. So let's be honest. Let's say that this black dude was the only other super soldier back in those days, back in the day, right? It can't be like, oh, look at America, at y'all new Captain America, who's a black dude in the 1970s.
Yeah, like 60s or 70s, whatever.
That's a lot. Like 1960s, when was the Korean War? The 70s? Something like that.
70s. Something like that. And honestly, they probably wouldn't even be cool with having a black dude as a Captain America, and so probably the 2010s or 2020s, to keep it real. But by then, Cap is already back. Yeah. So they probably wouldn't even be cool with that until later on.
That is true, because it's like as soon as like Sam passed off the shield, it's like they already had a plan of who they was gonna give the shield to next. As soon as he gave it up, it was like, bruh, they already was like they already thinking of having like a black person.
Oh, 1950. Oh, 1950s. So yeah, they for sure wouldn't have been down with a black dude.
Hell no.
As well as like think of it as a evil political person. You got the only super soldier who's alive, who's capable. He actually beat Bucky, so he's proven to be capable. The only super soldier alive, which is the black man with no rights, bro. They're gonna do all that they want to him.
Exactly.
All that they want. And which is unfortunate, because America, like the widely known America in the politics or the political government at the time, probably didn't even know that Hydra was doing that under the covers, because they were doing hella other stuff. The covers.
That was kind of my thing though. Like, I kind of want to know the backstory on Hydra a little bit. Like, how did Hydra infiltrate the U.S. like so smoothly though? Like that was real smooth of them to do that.
I mean, like we mentioned, since World War II is when they infiltrated America, and then I guess from then, the last 70 or 80 years just been, gone.
Hey, I was thinking about what you was just saying about Bucky's memory and all that, because you remember in the last episode when he was hanging with that old Asian dude up in the bar and all that, and he was coming to grips like that was his son that he ended up killing, and he was like, it was all come back to his mind and all like that when he went to go see him and all that. I was thinking about on the last episode, they probably gonna be exploring more like of his background, like just the stuff that he remembered when he was part of Hydra and all like that.
They might even do a
Yeah, 'cause I remember he
flashback.
did.
Shot Natalia.
Yep. And they still
Maybe,
supposedly they still
maybe, I
calling the
don't
White
know.
Wolf supposedly. Well, they just threw it out there, but I don't know if they necessarily gonna call him that going forward. I'm not sure.
Call him what?
White Wolf, because I remember Sam was teasing it, like he was just saying like you've been in Wakanda for a year, and like you think you're the White Panther now, and he was like, nah, it's called White Wolf. He was like, what? Like,
And the thing is, because I think Bucky, no, I don't think it was Bucky, but I remember there is someone in the comics who's a white dude that they actually do call White Wolf, right?
yeah, but it wasn't
in
Bucky,
Wakanda?
but it was I forgot who the person
It wasn't
was.
Bucky. It was somebody else. Though.
Yeah.
I think it was somebody who basically, I think like Wakanda basically took in this white kid, kind of raised him and everything up in there, and they said, okay, we're gonna call you White Wolf, and he was Black Panther's sidekick, basically. It
Really?
was something like that.
Yeah.
Like, how do you not know this?
Yeah,
I don't
was
even
about
read
to
the
say,
comics, and I know this.
I ain't never heard of White Wolf. For real.
You
That was
gotta
one of the
get
first
woke,
things
man.
they, because even in that post credit scene when they when the little kid said that, like people was wondering like what that come from, but I heard of White Wolf, but I didn't know if it was like a female representative or a dude. I didn't really know
So
exactly.
I know of White Panther. That's why I think it was funny that he said, "What, you the White Panther now?" Because the White Panther is Shuri after she wasn't the queen no more. She was Black Panther. She got knocked off by somebody, and then her and her little crew became like White Panthers. And they look at it. It's pretty cool. White Panther, Shuri. Sure. Yeah.
Now, this one thing I do want to say about this show, though. One thing I can say about this, it definitely gives me a lot of like Winter Soldier vibes, like the movie. Just watching it, like just how you find
White
everything.
Tiger, whatever.
Like it's definitely on point. Like how they got the show. Like it definitely gives me a lot of Winter Soldier vibes, like from the movie that came out. And they put George St. Pierre on the first episode, which I was surprised they did that.
Oh, I love.
Yeah.
That
Oh, so I'm looking at the
I love that they put him on there. I think that was a great. They needed him. They needed him to be in there. Let me explain. They needed to show the difference between Captain America and Falcon.
Yeah.
Right? Because I remember Captain America ended George St. Pierre. Boom. Right? And then it was over. But George St. Pierre actually, I'm gonna say he defeated Falcon, but he held his own and got away from Falcon, which he could never have done with Captain America. And I think that was just it was like poetic testimony to show that Falcon might not be ready to take up the mantle, and he might not ever be ready, and that he can never be Captain America, right? Which could be a good thing if you reveal and realize that that's okay. You ain't got to be Captain America. You can be whoever you want to be. Do you? But they needed George St. Pierre to show that he wasn't ready, I think.
Here's my thing. I'm all for you ain't ready to be the next Captain America. I'm all for you don't think you can take on the mantle. I'm all for it. What you don't do is give the government one of the best weapons that's been created. There's no way you do that.
No way.
Yeah, I still disagree with Sam doing that because like Cap gave you that. It's like, bro, he gave that to you for a reason, bro. Like that's why I kind of understand what Bucky was mad at him when they was going back and forth in the interrogation room. It was like, bro, that meant a lot to him, bro. He literally lived for that shield, bro. It was more than just like you carrying it, bro. It's like
because if you remember at the end of Endgame when he even looked at Bucky and he kind of gave him that look like
like it's like, good. Like, I'll pass it to him now.
Like dude, what? And he's getting that look like do it, man. Like that's all you.
For real.
That's all you. He making us black people look bad.
I don't know.
But I ain't gonna lie though. But Sam did some good points because as much as we love Cap, like it was some things where it was like you could say. One thing I can say about Captain America, he has a lot of heart, and that's what we probably love about him the most because just the heart he has. But like, it was some things that he kind of just went against. That's why eventually where he had to just go against Tony like that. Like, some things he just, you know what I'm saying? It just, I won't say it's necessarily the right thing, but you know, sometimes it just leads you into the wrong situation sometimes. And I think that's what happened in Civil War between him and I think that's what Sam was trying to explain to Bucky, like. Just by basing him being on the run, based off the choice you make and all like that, because we all know how Sam came up is completely different from how Bucky and Steve Rogers did. So I feel like that plays a factor into it too.
Let me ask y'all a question because I talked about this with Maxine, and it's a very I don't know. We won't know until the later episodes, but I'm kind of feeling this right now. Do y'all feel that Falcon gave the shield up because he either because he said he gave it up, and he was saying it very passionately. I gave it up because I thought it was the right thing to do. Do y'all believe that?
I think I feel like he probably wasn't ready yet. He probably felt like he didn't deserve
That's
it.
exactly what I was thinking. I felt like he was afraid of the responsibility. I felt like he was afraid that he would never live up to Captain America, and and he was spiritually weak and just gave it up because hey, I don't want this power, I don't want this responsibility. Y'all take it.
Yeah.
Thing is, though, I'm not sure if it was necessarily that he gave him the shield, saying that that it's now you to become Captain America.
Yeah,
I think it was more like, I'm giving you this shield so that way you can become the symbol for America like I was, but you don't have to be me. You know what I'm saying? Like, he doesn't have to be the next Captain America. He could still be Falcon and use the shield periodically. He can do that.
Too. I just feel, because he says in the therapy session, I thought I did what was right. And I totally don't agree. I totally think he's lying and he's hiding his true feelings. I think his true feelings is, like you said, Deontay, he felt like he had to live up to, his idol's expectations. He was his idol, right? And not only was he his idol, he was his brother in arms. He was his best friend. You know what I'm saying? He was the one Captain America went to when Captain America had nobody. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I feel like, he had the pressure on him.
Yeah. Listen, I totally get that. Like, I understand he had the pressure. That's why I'm like, dude, you didn't have to do this. You didn't have to become the next Captain America. I actually prefer for him to stay Falcon because Captain America is a symbol to the United States because of what he did. Not necessarily like what he did in that time period, but what he did in World War II. So for Falcon to even get to that level, he's never going to get there. But to me, it's more so like, I believe him where he says he felt like it was the right thing to do. I fully believe what he thought he was doing was right. I don't agree with it, but I understand where he's coming from because he felt like in order for me to make sure that nobody's really looking forward to me being the next Captain America, I have to give away this symbol. I have to do this. I get that. I'd have slapped him upside the head and been like, bro, what you doing?
Yeah.
Like, because even Spider-Man is thinking like, okay, they were asking him questions like, are you going to be the next Iron Man? Because he was grooming Peter Parker to become somewhat like Iron Man because he was smart like him. He can do this, he can do that. That was that whole thing. But he felt like he couldn't live up to it, which is why he gave away the glasses. It was stupid for him to give away the glasses, especially to a rando. But I understand where he's coming from. Like, I feel that. So I do believe that he's telling the truth I do believe he's telling the truth with that. I just don't agree with it. I just don't agree with him giving the shield to the government. I mean, the government already screwed you over from you trying to get a loan. Like, they ain't even giving you good pay. You were staying in this little apartment. You know how the government, you gonna give them the shield though?
I feel like, man, that was just bad decision making for real. Because, like you said, you give the shield the one thing that Cap left behind. Literally, the one evidence that Cap, there's the culmination of all of Cap's achievements is that shield, bro. Cap saved the galaxy, the universe, right? Probably more than once, you know what I'm saying? But that's the only thing that's left of him, and you give it to the government that was literally trying to kill y'all a few years ago? Bruh, that's out.
And actually, I think it basically gave him an upgraded shield, too, because the shield that he fought with in Endgame got destroyed. When he came back, he had a whole new shield. And I think the design was just slightly different. Like, the color scheme was the same, the stars was there, but it looked like it had, like, a few little extra things.
I think Wakanda made him a new one because before he left, as y'all remember, he had his shield and the hammer. So the shield was already made again. So I think Wakanda might have fixed it or something.
Probably.
Okay, so that just means it's probably new and improved now because the vibranium that they had is now totally better. They probably got like a few more extra things up in there.
Right, I totally agree. What's up, cuz? The better looking cuz. I completely agree, man. I think that I just feel like he didn't. And then what really irks me is that Falcon felt like he was not ready. He felt like he was undeserving. But then you got this random Joe Schmo dude who was just ordered to do it. And although he had the same conflictions that Falcon had, lesser, he still took upon the mantle, which I felt was like, a difference in character, a difference in spirit, but not a difference in like, obligation. I felt like Falcon was obligated to do that, bro. He was literally told, Captain America literally was like, it's yours. He was obligated to do that. He couldn't take up the mantle. He couldn't take up the responsibility. And somebody who's not worthy of it has it now.
So what you're saying is you're looking at it from the perspective of technically it's the government's because of the Sokovian Accords.
Yeah.
They were trying to have all these weapons, all these powers held by the government. So because he was part of the government, because he was a military dude, he felt like he was going to be forced to hand it over anyway.
But he never signed it.
Well, he wasn't,
He
though, right?
He was
Then he was government, but he never signed it.
He never signed it.
Never
But
signed
I
it.
think
That's why
because
he
he's
was
in
on
the military now, he feels like he's obligated to do that. Same way that Rhodey had to go into Iron Man's area and take the prototype armor, and he dropped it off up into the at the Air Force.
Well,
He
yeah,
had
but
to do
technically
that.
he stole it though, because that was all Iron Man stuff, and the government.
He did
The
take it from his
government
house.
tried to acquire
Yeah,
that.
he went straight to his house and took it, right.
But they never had ownership of it. Now, Cap's Shield's a bit different because technically,
to
Cap came
Janae's
from
point, that's exactly correct. Janae is exactly on point.
That's true.
They stole that stuff, and they stole
Yeah.
Cap's shield too. Let me explain. I'm gonna start from the history of Cap's shield. Cap's shield was created for Cap's shield was created for the Captain America project back in the 40s, right? It was gifted to Captain America as, hey, this is the collection you can choose from. Choose whatever you like. He chose that. It's now his possession, right?
Mm-hmm.
After, he came back, he fought all that stuff. He then gifted it to Falcon, and Falcon then gifted it to a museum,
Yep.
right? The government stole it from the museum. Obviously, they wish they went around like we the government, giving you what we want. But they took it from the museum. They probably paid some money for it or whatever the case may be. But that wasn't a part of the deal that Falcon gave them the shield for.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
To Janae's point, they going around being the regular government that we know today, taking stuff that ain't theirs, and that's it.
So yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, because it's not theirs, and that's what the government. And I think that guy, the Captain American guy, the new one,
John
I
Walker,
think he's
yeah.
evil. Yeah, I think he's evil. Something's up because I don't know, he's kind of a bit too aggressive. He already won America's trust. When you watch the second one, they're clapping, they love him, they're taking pictures with him, and the only smart ones, right? Falcon and Winter Soldier are like, number one, we already know there are one reason why I don't like him, but they're like, okay, it's kind of shady,
Right, yeah.
But when they're like, okay, let's try to give this dude a chance. We'll ride with him in this truck. He give us a ride to the airport, whatever. Hearing out his plan, it's like, oh, you still throwing shade.
Yeah,
Gotta
he was.
go. So I think later on might reveal that he was the bad guy the whole while. I think he's the bad guy.
I see he was trying to be cool, but then I can understand Bucky and Sam, because it's like, bro, we know Captain America, so it's like you can't tell us about that shield, like, bro, we know, you know what I'm saying? So
Exactly.
it was kind of like, but then to be fair, he was trying to play it all cool, because he could have just straight up been like, y'all gotta just listen to these origins with the woo. He tried to let him know, like, I'm not trying to be Steve Rogers and all like that. At least he tried to put that out there, but the more they just kept going back and forth, he was just like, forget it. Y'all just stay out of my way if y'all not trying to work with me. And then eventually, they either gotta choose if they're gonna bump heads again, or I feel like they'll probably come together in some type of way, like, where they have to come together. But I'm like, he still has the shield, so I'm like, I know they're gonna want to get that shield back some type of way. I don't know if it's gonna be like where John Walker might get the shield taken away, and then Falcon might find a way to get it back, or he felt like he probably don't deserve it either, just because he like, I know I'm not Steve Rogers and this was given to you, It probably might be like that, so we probably just gotta wait and just see,
And you know, since you bring that up, I did realize when he was trying to, like, you know, execute, like, you know, trying to say like, oh, we should be really working together, but they just kept saying like, no, no, no. If you kind of notice, he got a little aggressive with that when he asked that towards the end. He got real aggressive with it. Like his whole mood changed, his facial expression. I was like, wait, like bro seems like real aggressive with this now. So I don't know what's going on with him.
Hi guys.
Hey,
What's going on?
What's happening? What's going on?
I'm about to go punish my baby. You say wow, next little boy.
He liked to eat my cables, and we was telling him not to. And when I heard him fuss, he fusses two ways. He says, and just look. And I was like, bro, you in trouble. She told him he in punishment. He in timeout, so I put him in his pen.
That baby like what?
But I think that because we have to remember, you know, that Falcon gets the shield back. He gets the shield back 100%. In the trailers, they show him practicing and having the shield and feeling the weight of the responsibility.
Right.
But he gets the shield back. The question is it by force, or does this guy, you know, lose it or die or something? I don't know.
Here's how I want.
Wow.
I see it happening two ways, and it's what you were saying. It's either by force or he dies. If it's by force, I'm guessing Isaiah is going to be the one to help with that. Because I'm with Bucky. I'm like, nah, you need to go upside this dude's head. Like he's like, nah, I want to take that shield, dude. You got to help me get that back. I'm like, man, kill them both. Kill the new Captain America. Kill the black dude that's with him because he
gotta go
ass anyway. So I'm like, nah, you gotta kill them both.
I think it's like, bruh, because they should have brought the new Captain America in as an opposition, because he's being too friendly and it's making us as viewers and Falcon and Winter Soldier not like him because he's being too friendly, too like, hey, I know that I just took your hero's property and I'm not gonna give it back, but until then we can be cool and work with each other. I'm thinking to myself like, bruh, and then at the end he wants to say, stay out my way. I'm thinking to myself like, bruh, turn around and smack him with your metal arm. Smack him in the face. Because he don't know who he's talking to.
That's my thing, because that's what Janae was saying when she was just like, nah, I think he's evil. So I'm like, I think that's where they're headed. So that's why I'm like, either
I think he is evil.
Honestly, how I would like for it to happen.
Sounds like a coming for evil. And another thing about the shield, I remember when Falcon, when Bucky was like, why did you give it up? Why didn't you just keep it? Things like that. And then Falcon gave it up, and then Bucky's like, let's just go get it back. And Falcon said no, because I remember what happened the first time we lost it. When you guys remember from when they was on the run and, you know, capping them. So I'm thinking, I'm like, wow, so if you lost it before and it was hard as hell to get it the first time, why would you give it away again so easily? Because y'all didn't get it back until, well, y'all disappeared. Then you came back, the blip happened, and then that's when everyone got their stuff back. But before then, you know, they were on the run. Black Widow, Captain America, you know, Vision, Wanda, they were all fugitives. And it was hard for him to keep that, you know, when him and Iron Man broke up, you know. So, and Bucky was in Wakanda getting his mind right. So he has no idea this transpired. So when Falcon was like, yeah, it was hard to, you know, get it back the first time, that's when I'm like, then why the hell would you just give it away if you know what it feels like?
Janae, it just don't make sense to me.
But you know what?
But I want to know, because I think Falcon is going to reveal why he gave it away. Because he never says why. He's like, you and Cap will never understand. You know, you don't have to agree with it, but I did, you know, this is why, you know, wanted to give your mantra off. And I'm like, I'm thinking maybe it's because we don't know what happened to Cap. No one said he died. No one said, you know, we don't know where the hell he is. They didn't officially say he's dead. So we don't know where Cap is. Is he an old man who forgot everything? We don't know. So no one's mourning him, but they do miss him. So we're a little bit
right. They haven't did a funeral or public
nothing. Or nothing. And no one's officially said
Cap ain't coming back.
So, yeah.
Because nobody's actually seen him since,
just like in the first
Endgame.
Yeah, it's like in the first episode when he said, hey, when that guy, that military guy was talking to Falcon going, hey, jokingly said, yeah, where is Cap, by the way? Is he on the moon somewhere? So you kind of think,
Shit, is he?
So he can't be dead because Falcon didn't confirm, like, oh, we all know where he is or something. He just ignored that question and left us all in a limbo, like, well, where is he? Because I thought when we first turned this show on, Cap is old and he lived his life with Peggy, and they're both, died as old age. But the way he words it, it's like, okay, so there's no tombstone nowhere. There's no memorial, this
That's true.
American, memorial with the never-ending fire nowhere. Okay, this is strange. Where is Cap?
Right.
And
What
with
I
that,
thought of? Oh, go ahead, T.
No, y'all go
I was
ahead.
gonna-
No, I was gonna let y'all finish. No, go ahead.
I was gonna say something right when so I do agree with that. We don't know where he is, right? He could have went into another time stream. He could have went back to him and Peggy's house. At this point, Peggy would be dead, or I don't know. No one knows. But what we do know is that he went back to Peggy and he loved Peggy. Let me just say that, right? He went back to Peggy and loved Peggy, right? One thing we know is that Peggy is not barren. She had children, so she can have children. And what we don't know is that Cap can or can't. We figure he's a regular dude, he can have children. Imagine some of these supernatural people, superhero, super soldier people, are his offspring. That's something that blows your mind. Think about it. The timeline don't add up regarding them being that age, but the timeline would add up about the super soldiers being in the wars. So every war that happened, the Korean War,
I would imagine that, but you are going somewhere. I would think that because Cap went back in time and he is a superhuman, I would think they experimented with his blood. And he got distracted from not protecting himself because he's in love.
I mean,
because when he came back, he had nothing to do but work because Peggy is old and can't remember anything. So he's like, well, I'll just keep my head and work. But now he's back in a time where he's in love with Peggy. He can have a life with her. Maybe they attacked him when he was vulnerable and started experimenting on him like they did with that man for 30 years. This super soldier they never heard of. Remember in episode 2? What was his name?
The question is,
I was going to say, I think that kind of goes back to what we were talking about in the last video, where when he goes to the past, because of the events that happened, that's an alternate timeline, though. So I doubt it'll be like within this same timeline, unless he did go back, like as he's putting the stones back in the timeline. That's like while he was there, he did do A, B, and C, which is supposed to follow, that specific timeline. But then he, of course, goes to the timeline that he's in an alternate universe where he's with Peggy. So it's kind of like, it's like maybe he did, but it's also it's like he's affecting two timelines at the same time, if that makes sense.
So we don't know yet, D. We don't know if he went.
That's what I'm saying. So it's kind of hard.
That when he went back to put the stones back, those alternative timelines were destroyed or vanished. So when he put the stones back, the alternative timelines were destroyed. We have to assume that he came back to our main continuity just 70 years ago, right? And if that's the case, then the theory that he just lived life with Peggy and then when he was old came back to the point where Falcon and them was and gave him the shield. We have to assume that, or we have to assume, like you said last time, Deontay, that, he found someone with the time machine, the particle accelerator machine, whatever.
Like the quantum realm thing that they're going to be talking about. I think.
Yeah, they found Hank Pym or whatever with the quantum thing. You would have to find Hank Pym, I guess. You found Hank Pym with the quantum teleporting pad, and then
the thing about it is not going to be hard.
Hank Pym didn't have that. Hulk made that with Hank Pym's technology.
But even then, it still wouldn't be hard because since he would know about some people's background, so he would know most likely what area to find them, or at least know who to look for to kind of help him out.
How would he have the ability to get there? So what I'm saying that if the theory that he didn't live life for those 70 years, and then just one day he realized, okay, today's Tuesday, I gotta remember to go Tuesday 2020 to this point, and then everything will be okay. If he didn't do that, we have to assume the only way he got back to the timeline was that using the technology that he came back with, which they didn't have. So I'm 90% sure that he just lived life in the main continuity and then just left, right? If that's the case, and I have to say this, Captain America has a huge sense of honor and a huge sense of duty. So if that's the case, he might have not had children regarding his duty to not have more super soldiers. But, I mean, your duty is also to your family. And also, you saved the universe. You get to have some wins. So who knows? He might have had some children who had children, and now those children are out here rampaging and creating more serums, because we have to understand, they couldn't.
Oh, he disappeared.
Where'd he go?
Timeline as continuity. But Hulk's serum was faulty, which is the reason why he turned into the Hulk. Right, his Hulk.
Yeah, because he was trying to reproduce the serum that they have for Captain America.
Right, his was faulty as well as Bucky's was faulty. Bucky's made his mind go crazy. No, I'm sorry. Bucky.
So they put that in there.
You're right.
Hydra
they did that.
that.
We can't even claim it. We can't really blame the serum. They actually was doing some brainwashing stuff to him too. So
because they did give Bucky the serum, which is why. Because if you notice, they didn't do anything to his legs to make him that fast when he caught up to the truck. They did nothing to that. It was just his arm that they had to reattach and everything. And they gave him the serum, and that was it.
But remember the serum. Well, I guess.
Quiet.
No, I'm listening to y'all. I'm waiting till y'all finish. Y'all go ahead. I'm just waiting. I was eating, that's why.
What's his name?
And you know what? Janae brought up a good point when she was saying that, what happened during the blip and everything. When Sam knew that they had lost the shield, that was from Civil War, when Cap basically gave Stark the shield, right? Yep. I just thought about it till right now. Stark didn't give the shield to the government; he kept it
and gave it back to
Cap. He gave it back to Cap, right?
That shield is not yours; that belongs to my father. So he kept it. He during all these years, he never gave it to the government. Even though he signed the accords, he never gave it back to him.
No,
never gave it back to him.
That was his property.
So that brings up
because it was his dad. He took it from Cap because he blamed Cap for, well, you knew your best friend killed my parents, so give me my shit back. So he was mad at him.
And Tony Stark had a history. They were trying to take Stark Tech too. Like he had a history with them too. They trying to take most of his weapons too. So especially when it comes to the shield, like my father made that. That's like one of the most iconic like weapons right there. So he like, if anybody, I deserve this because my father made this.
Which, keep in mind, they were trying to take Iron Man suits, and I think it was because Hydra was in control, because the main dude who was trying to take his suits was part of Hydra, and you've seen that when he was in Winter Soldier.
Yeah, but let Terry fit, because I think Terry was onto something when he said they was started from the beginning, because even forget the suits before Iron Man even created the suits. Like you were saying, he was about to talk about his weapons in general, right?
Right, yeah, because that's what he was going to court and all that for. Like, he was basically going back and forth because they wanted to have control of his weapons and all like that. So,
but they couldn't because of proprietary, regulation.
And plus, his father was helping him work build. Like, his father was help build most of the weapons that they had anyway. So I feel like that was kind of faulty. They were trying to basically take it from like his family and all like that. Cause
I know, honestly, bro, they should be like praising him. At this point,
for real.
They should be praising your father
because he sold his weapons to the military. Now, when Stark said, I'm no longer doing that, that's when they went batshit crazy. It was like, oh, hell no. What do you mean you're not selling your stuff to the military?
But you also understand that wasn't really the military. That was Hydra who wanted his stuff. Yeah. I never forget. I didn't know.
They were in the midst of this before we knew it was Hydra. So we think it's the government.
The guy who's in the seat judging him in the courtroom is a Hydra official. And I'm like, I get it.
They want his tech. They know he's the brilliant man in the world.
Because if you take away his tech and you take away his suits and all that, they were going to try and kill him anyway. But at least if he had his tech,
they did try to kill him in Iron Man 1. But that's where they made the mistake, because now that made him birth the Iron Man suit.
That's what I'm saying. So that's why when you watch Winter Soldier, they were going to say Stark. They were going to try and kill him anyway. But at least earlier
Yeah, he was
before
gone.
that, if they were able to take away his, like, basically take away his company and all of his tech and his weapons and all that, it was going to be easier to try to kill him.
But he threw him a curveball by saying, I'm no longer selling to the government anymore. I'm going to do my own thing, because he's seen they're selling his stuff to the enemies. He's like, well, why am I selling it to the government then? No thanks.
Right, and it's like they create even more like powerful villains. Just even when they try to, you see, like they create a White Vision like on WandaVision. Just like every time they trying to take something from like Avenger, they end up creating something even worse. Like we seen Ultron, we seen all types of like, just like villains throughout this. So I mean, I don't know, it's crazy.
Do y'all remember? I don't know if y'all remember this, but I never forget the scene because I was like, why would they put that in the scene? So in Captain America: First Avenger, there were 2 vials left. Y'all remember that? There were 2 vials that was not put into Captain America. There were 2 vials that was left. We know one was used for the black dude, right? We could tell that obviously it was 5 years later or 5 to 10 years later when the black dude was enacted in the Korean War, which happened in the mid-50s, and if the World War II ended in 1955, we assumed this happened in 1943, 1944, and then he got put on ice in the ocean. But there were 2 vials that were not used. We know that one vial was used for the black dude. Where was the other vial?
So wait, so you're saying when he went into the machine to become Captain America, there was a total of 3 vials?
No, there was a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 vials, 8 vials, and they only used 6.
So they used 6 for him. The 7th one was stolen from the guy, but he later on. But what happened with that when he destroyed it? Right? It got destroyed in the process.
It wasn't stolen.
So then what happened? So then if there was a total of 8.
Right. It was 8. 6 was it was 1 in the arm, one in each arm, 1 in each leg, and 2 in the chest, if I remember correctly. 1 chest, 1 pectoral or whatever. And then when he came out, he was like, "Oh, I'm good." The not Nazi, the Hydra spy. All the Hydra spy mission was to kill the scientist. That was his mission, was to kill the scientist, because he wasn't going to be able to get close. He came down there, killed the scientist, blew up the observation room, and ran.
So there was still 2. He didn't steal one of the 2.
There were still 2. There was still 2.
So you're saying they used one of them on the black guy, and we got to figure out where the second one is.
Exactly.
No, because they didn't use it on Bucky.
No, they didn't.
No.
They didn't use it on Bucky, Janae, because Bucky was captured by Hydra.
Yeah, and Steve had to go back and get him. Remember that? Because that's the part on First Avenger when Steve had to go back and get him when he captured him. So he was.
Yeah, but if we remember,
I think that vial was stolen because Hydra's still inside the infrastructure.
I don't think they were in.
Hydra had their own serum that wasn't. Remember what happened with Red Skull? Red Skull happened like that because they had an imperfect solution. Like their super soldier solution was imperfect, which made him crazy and his skin peel off, I guess.
They tried to run an experiment on him
until basically what was his name, like Zoloff? I think until he
Dr. Zoloff.
And then they brought him in. I think that's when Hydra was starting to like really get infiltrated into the US.
Zoloff was the reason why they perfected the serum. Zoloff happened after Red Skull became Red Skull, then he enlisted Zoloff, who then perfected the serum, and then put it in Bucky. Oh, and more people apparently.
I think he put it in Bucky before. I want to say he put it in Bucky before Zoloff became part of the U.S. science group, but I just don't think it kicked in just yet, because when they found, because like afterwards when what happened with Bucky after that? That's after they found. That's right. He was captured by Zoloff, and I think that's when they were already experimenting on him, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then they ended up capturing Zoloff and all that, but the question is, where was Bucky that entire time?
Probably already an assassin.
Yeah, he was probably out doing his thing, was he? Because they ever showed in Civil War when he was basically, throughout the whole decade, he was basically just killing everybody. Most of it wasn't just like Tony Stark's parents, he was killing a lot of people too. I don't know if that's what he was doing during that whole time, but I'm not sure.
Are we talking about during the blip or during his during Cap's 70-year hiatus?
I thought he was talking about during the. Oh, okay. I got mixed up. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
he was definitely gone.
He was
Okay,
blipped
so
out,
then-
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was.
Okay,
That
so
was the
here's
first
my
one they
question.
showed that he was in a blip. That was like the first person they showed on there.
Mm-hmm.
Cartoon.
So
I'm
now,
like, dang, Cap lost him again.
Right, yeah. Like he lost him and Falcon. It's like, damn, he lost like everybody that was close. He lost all his close ones. Like, damn.
Exactly.
Like, damn, that was weak.
Like, dang.
so then here's my question now, because this has me a little bit perplexed now. So when Bucky was in Wakanda trying to get his mind right, he had no arm until it came time to fight Thanos. They gave him a new arm, which is vibranium, right?
Mhm.
Now, take before all that. Take basically when we seen him in Winter Soldier, when we seen him in Civil War, everything before that, basically when he became the Winter Soldier and he had that arm, was that vibranium?
No.
So then in Civil War, when T'Challa was fighting him, when he looked at his arm, he looked at it like whoa, because he looked at it as if it was like, okay, this is vibranium. That was kind of like the look that he gave us. So I'm thinking, if that was vibranium, how did Hydra get a hold of the vibranium to give him that arm?
Exactly. That's why I don't think it was vibranium. Like Hydra would have had to. You have to understand. At the time where Hydra had its height, there only was one piece of vibranium outside of Wakanda, which was Cap's shield. And Cap. And I would love a backstory on how Howard Stark got that. Like, was he friends with Wakanda? And they were like, you know what? The King of Wakanda was like, I like you, dude. Here's a piece of our vibranium to show you my thanks. I don't know. But what I do know is that it can't be vibranium because electricity messes up its circuitry, right? Vibranium channels the energy and disperses it. But if you remember when he was fighting Black Widow in Captain America Civil War, she shot some little electricity things on his thing and messed it up for a while. And then he fixed it.
Yeah,
but normally
okay.
it wouldn't mess it up at all. Normally, like, it'll disperse the energy, I believe. So I don't think
I thought when it would disperse the energy, I just thought that was part of the suit that Shuri made for T'Challa.
That's vibranium. Just like when, like if you go to the movie Black Panther, at the end when Shuri explained how the trains worked, they're completely on energy, and the vibranium moves the electricity along with it. So it's a manless operated train. It runs by itself off of electricity from the vibranium. So yeah, Frank's right. Because it does feed off of that.
So then could it be possible?
It's the strongest metal, if you want to consider it metal.
So then could it be possible that his arm...
consider it a metal. That's a really good point, Janae. If you consider it a metal.
This is why she needs to be here.
Hey, Janae, a real nerd. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I've been telling Beyonce all the time, you're the best thing that ever happened to them, for real.
So that's what I'm saying. So then could it be possible that his arm is actually not vibranium? What was I saying?
Adamantium?
Adamantium. It can be adamantium.
Hold on, wait. Ain't adamantium stronger than vibranium though? But ain't adamantium stronger than vibranium though?
No.
But ain't that what Wolverine is made out of, right?
Yeah.
But I thought that was supposed.
It can cut, but if you see, vibranium's good at defense. Like it can't be cut through. But that would be a good combat because adamantium's really sharp. It can do anything. Like when you watch Wolverine, he's like he can cut through anything.
Because it can bend, but it would take a lot of force.
But
to
it can break because if
it can break. It is not malleable. To Janae's point earlier,
stuff broke before, but vibranium will never.
What Janae said, if you consider it a metal, the reason why that statement is so powerful is that it's a liquid, it's a fabric, it's a metal, it's it's all kind of stuff. But adamantium is strictly a hardened metal, right? But like you said, vibranium could be clothing. It could be vibranium could be energy. Actually, it can harness the energy from vibranium. Creates energy itself, and a lot of stuff like that. That's the reason why I think adamantium can't stand against vibranium. In regards to a hand-to-hand fight, well, Wolverine is a boss with those claws. It depends, right? But if you say Wolverine versus Black Panther would win. Wolverine would never lose completely because he can't die, But if Wolverine wasn't a mutant and he was just a regular person with adamantium claws on his hands,
mutation, right? Yeah, okay, I see what
he
you're
would
saying.
just die. A mutation. Wolverine isn't powerful because of his adamantium. Wolverine is powerful because
he can heal and all like that, right?
He's
Because of his healing ability.
Yeah.
Because if you look back at Days of Futures Past, when he woke up in his old consciousness before he had the adamantium, they were shooting at him. It just hurt, but he's able to pop them back out.
He feels everything. Just like there's a quote, I forgot what movie it is. I think it's the first one, or maybe the second one of the X-Men.
When he met Rogue.
And so, and she asked, does that hurt? And he said, every time.
Every time, right?
Pain.
Yeah,
He feels
you're
pain.
right. Yeah.
It heals itself,
Let me ask y'all a question about the new Captain America guy. All right, so
John Walker.
we know that he does. What'd you call it, CT?
Nah, his name John Walker. That's like U.S. agent. His name John Walker. Yeah.
John Walker. I ain't gonna never remember his name. I'm calling him John. Oh, yeah, that's so easy. John Walker.
Yeah, that's who the U.S. agent is in the comic
name
books.
ever.
Right.
It's the most widest name ever, besides like John. Yeah, you're right, John Walker. But yeah, so John Walker. We know, and I'm gonna tell you like this. I 100% believe that there's going to be a fight between John Walker and Falcon.
And there should be.
And there should be. They should fight for the title because they both are technically unworthy, right? They both were supposed to have the mantle, and one wants it with hesitation and one doesn't want it but need it. That would be the greatest battle for real, because like it's super emotionally conflictive. Like one wants it but knows he doesn't deserve it, and one needs it but knows he doesn't deserve, or like one has it but doesn't deserve it. It's crazy.
I think you're right, because I think that's what they probably might do. And then in terms of Bucky, I feel like, because how they tease Zemo at the end of it, I think they going to just show more of his, like, basically, like, they go probably just, because I think the whole time, he was basically down this whole time. He was basically away this whole, I think after Civil War, he was basically locked up that whole time.
Wait. But cousin, was he? The blip blipped hell of people out of existence. What if he blipped half of the security in his prison?
But then how would he have gotten out?
That's what I'm saying. Like,
I mean,
they have to explain that. That was the case.
Go ahead.
I was like, they had to explain that, because I'm like, because after Civil War, we don't really hear from Zemo until they brought this Falcon Winter Soldier. Like, we haven't heard from him since. Like, last time we seen, I think when Black Panther, like, he basically took him down after that, but we haven't really seen much of Zemo since. And I think this,
we know he was locked up, but he was still running shit. Like, he was. We say, okay, Baron Zemo is just this regular dude. How did he do these things? He did the impossible. He had the world's heroes trying to kill each other.
Yeah.
He did the impossible. He found other super soldiers and killed. He did the impossible that no regular human would do. So we can't say that whatever is out of his ability, because we know that he eventually gets out, right? The question is, what happened with him during the blip? Was he putting his seeds in during the blip to where when everything happened, he just was all like how Hydra did, put his little seeds in and wait his time and then act? Because I'm telling you, these people, they probably being ran by Baron Zemo.
Bro, I was just about to say, because you remember when that girl got a text message talking about, like, when I find you, I'm going to kill you, whatever. Like, I don't know if that could be either him or somebody else, but I was wondering, like, what if he's connected to these people that Falcon and Bucky was looking for? Like, because I'm like, they all wear masks, like, similar to, like, Zemo, how he do in the comics, and he gonna wear his mask in this one. So I'm like, what if that's all connected? I'm not sure. Like,
I feel like it's connected.
That's a good one. I think,
Like that.
I think, hear me out. I think Zemo, like, while all the blip happened, because Zemo broke up the Avengers because he's pissed off at them because he blames them for his family dying. Yeah, that's why he kept that voicemail, right? So fast forward, I think he's in the cell chilling because he did what he wanted to do, was make the Avengers break up. And they did. And then worse happened.
Yeah.
They broke up even more because the blip happened, right? Well, I bet he wasn't, expecting for Stark and Captain America to make amends and then everyone comes back. But I think during the blip, he probably was happy and content being in his jail cell. Maybe he escaped, maybe he didn't, but he did it out of revenge. That's why, to me, when at the end, when Falcon and Winter Soldier was like, no, we need to talk to Zemo, because Zemo's the one who knows more information on how did they become these super soldiers back in, when he showed them back when him and Tony Stark was going at it? So it's like, how did he know all this? Nobody knew. The government didn't know. All these other people didn't know. We don't even know why Zemo was mad. But here he is, and he got these super soldiers, and then they're like, oh my God, he's going to release all these super soldiers. Nope, I killed them. I don't want them here because I don't like y'all. Okay, so they do need to go talk to him. Who's the bad guy? I think John Walker's the bad guy. I think he texts at an unknown number, that girl, you took something from me, that's why I'm going to kill you. I think that's why in the beginning, in episode 2, why they showed up and started whooping ass and trying to, act like the heroes coming in to rescue the day. No, they wasn't. He was probably coming in.
He did pop up like
how they
perfect
know
timing.
they were.
You is
John
right.
Walker's the bad guy.
He did pop up like soon as they was like, he just came to save the day. Like usually a Captain America thing would do. Like, yeah, that was kind of like ironic how he just popped up just out the blue like that.
And what did he say? He said, "How did you guys find me?" He said, "Oh, through your what is it
And
called?"
they was tracking his Red Wing too. You remember that? Yeah, they was tracking his Red
And
Wing.
he was like, "Wait, you hacked it?" He said, "Well, we didn't hack it because
Technically, we the government,
so
all like
goes
that."
back to your point by saying, "Bruh, you know how the government is. Why would you give them the shield?"
I think you're right. I ain't gonna. Now I'm starting to think. Yeah.
They're keeping tabs on them. Hydra, or there's some other inner circle at work. Let's say Hydra is down. You cut off one head, here comes 2 more, right?
Yeah.
They always say that. Maybe it's not Hydra, but it's something else over another name. And when you look at them, the people with that are the superhumans, right?
AIM?
I don't think they're the bad guys. They're so scared. Why are they scared? Right? Bad guys like, I'm big and bold and I'm gonna whoop your ass and I'm taking over the world.
They're doing hit and runs, right? They're running.
Something's up with them.
But look at it this
They're
way.
running.
But
Why are they running?
But here's the thing, though, too. What was the stuff that they were packing in the plane?
They was literally lifting it up. Yeah, I was wondering what that was too. Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, as she's in the plane looking out the window, I looked right behind her. I'm like, there's a lot of water bottles behind them. I don't think they're just stealing serum and trying to, make people more powerful.
Yeah.
I think they're trying to help people.
Yeah.
Kind of like what they were saying. They was like, yeah, they're helping more people who blipped than the people who wasn't blipped.
Yeah, something happened within the blip where things are all messed up. And just because people came back doesn't mean those intra-wars that happened during the blip is over.